Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Financial Planning Explained. I'm your host, Mike Menninger, certified financial planner, owner and founder of Menninger and Associates Financial Planning. As always, shows intended to be educational in nature for the areas of financial planning. Now, when it comes to financial planning, generally speaking, we're talking about the individuals. However, most individuals, or many individuals who are business owners, basically have to generate the revenue from their business that ends up going, and then you're doing the financial planning. So today, I'm pleased to introduce Devon who is a partner of Boomtown Internet Group, and she's going to talk to us about maximizing your website and all the really cool things that you can do with it. So, not to burst your bubble, Devon, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much for having me, Mike. I'm very excited to be here.
Good. I'm glad to have you. So, tell me a little bit about yourself and tell me about Boomtown.
So like you mentioned, I'm a partner at Boomtown Internet Group. Boomtown Internet Group was founded in 2004, and we are a full-service digital marketing and web design and development agency, meaning that we do everything from search engine optimization and digital advertising to graphic design and website development.
Excellent. All right. So now, in people terms, those that at least someone like me can understand. Actually, I hired Boomtown. I don't even know when, probably 8 years ago. And what they did is they actually created my website. And I had no website at the time. So they created my website, and before I knew it, in almost every single town, if you were to type in financial planner, financial advisor, financial anything, and in any town in about a 20, 30 mile radius, all of a sudden, I found myself about 6 or 8 of the top 10 on page 1 when you do a Google search, which was fascinating until such time that my company said, sorry, you need to take down your website, and forced us to use one of the company provided ones. Next thing you know, you do a search and I might be on page 4 again. Well, within the past year, come to find out, they kind of loosened things a little bit with my company. So what we did is we brought them back in to be able to work the website, and you've been doing a lot of things, and next thing you know, here I am back on page 1, but we're still work in progress, aren't we?
Definitely.
So what did you do to bring me from being like page 4, not even recognizable, to suddenly you're doing searches and there I am on page 1? What did you do to my website to make me more popular?
So first of all, from 8 years ago to today, search has changed drastically. So we're even trying to get different goals. 8 years ago, we were just trying to make you rank. Now we can rank you locally, where there's a Google Map result when you search your keywords. So that's what we're trying to do. And what I did to your website to get you there is I did a lot of technical stuff in the back end. I searched your keywords and I figured out what users or your clients are searching, and I added them to your website in strategic areas such as your meta tags, meta titles, and in your content and headers. Then I also fixed things like your website performance. I did your canonical
website
tags.
Performance. Mm-hmm. What is that?
Website,
I think of performance, I think of it going faster.
Exactly.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so most search now is done on your mobile phone. So Google only indexes the mobile phone. They don't look at desktop anymore. So all they care about is how fast it is. So everything is mobile first design, and
Really?
the algorithm is fully mobile.
That's maybe because I'm old school and I don't really use my phone for a lot of the stuff like that.
So it's becoming more and more common. So if things load faster, they're easier to use, larger
Of course.
touch points.
There's nothing more annoying than something that's really slow.
Exactly.
So you actually made my website faster?
Yes.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Good job. Shows how much I know.
Yeah.
But so you did that, and so it makes it more, but that didn't help get me to page 1. But the local search is interesting. So is it tied to where my business is located? Or like my business is located in trooper, and I'm about 15 to 20 minutes away from Westchester, is it that I get to be in the local search right near my office, or can I have a local search 15, 20 miles away? How does that work?
So the first thing we do is the one where you're located. That's called your Google My Business listing, and it's tied to your location. And we do things like optimize for reviews and add service areas and products and descriptions and things like that to build you up where you're physically located first.
Okay.
Then what we
Makes
do
sense.
is we add pages to your website for the other areas that you service, like Westchester, and we optimize for the keyword financial planner in Westchester. And then as you gain more domain authority over time, those pages will start to rank and you will show up in the Google Map result for those larger, broader areas.
Now, what do you mean gaining, would you say gaining what?
Domain authority.
Right, okay, so what does that mean?
So your domain is maaplanning.com.
Right.
And the longer you have a domain, the more authority you have, as well as like the amount of links that point to it. So how many people value the information that's on your website? Are you linking to people? Are they linking to you?
Really?
All of that builds your authority up. So another
Interesting.
big part of search engine optimization is link building. You know, from the very beginning, that's one of the most important aspects.
Do I have lots of links on my
You have
website?
tons of links.
Go Devon. So that's a service organization, okay? Do most of the work you do are for local companies, or do you do work for national companies?
It's about 50-50. We do national as well, and we do e-commerce, you know, as well, selling products.
So then, how does it? So the local search doesn't really help someone who's trying to sell widgets nationally.
Exactly.
So what do you do there instead?
So-
How do you get them to rise up the ranks?
If you're trying to sell a product, that's e-commerce marketing, and you optimize the product page as well as the category page. So for instance, like say you're selling mugs, you probably have a category called like cups or things you can drink out of, and then a subcategory for mugs, then subcategory for products for your actual product. Like this one looks like one you can customize.
Okay.
So you'd have customizable mugs. And
Okay.
you would optimize all of those things in a very similar fashion to how you would optimize a service area page with keywords and looking at the technical SEO. And you also care a lot about the way a user actually uses a website. And a great example of that is Amazon.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I was going to say Amazon. I mean, they seem to be dominating, and that's why, if I was looking for, customizable mugs, I don't do a lot of online shopping, so that's why I'm a technical idiot. I'm old school. I'm like right at the line. I'm on the latest part of old school, but I just go straight to the Google search and see what comes up. How does Amazon do it? I mean, you're referencing the Amazon versus, what's to prevent Amazon from being the one that pops up every single time? If I say customizable mugs, shouldn't Amazon pop up first every time?
They probably do. Customizable, they might not, but because they're not really a customizable option, so that's still a way that like businesses can compete if they're doing something customizable. But if you're just
Unique.
selling mugs, it's very hard. So then you have to have an Amazon store. So we could optimize an Amazon store for you and sell your products through Amazon or sell your products through affiliates, which is another thing that we do, affiliate marketing, to help you partner and sell through other vendors or distributors.
Really? Okay, so Amazon is effectively a not even a search engine, but it's a place where you go to Amazon and I can get, if I was selling the mugs, I could sell them through Amazon.
Exactly.
I see that, okay.
So you can make revenue in different streams if you use affiliates,
Okay,
which is a great way for e-commerce to grow.
okay. So what type of businesses do you have that are doing just that?
Our largest client that we have is a medical device distributor.
Okay.
And that's a great market right now because Amazon hasn't fully taken that over
Yeah.
because you need to have a prescription. So that's a great area right now
Medical
to grow.
devices, okay.
Distributor, yeah, they sell CPAP equipment.
Oh, okay, okay.
And we've had that client 10, 15 years now, I think, and we've grown them from only, making a couple thousand a month to making $1 million a month.
Wow.
So we've gone through the whole journey with them, and
That's got to be fun to watch.
yeah, we're really excited to partner with them as we move forward and they move forward. We
Wow,
grow together.
that's really exciting. So now, walk through the phase. I mean, they were selling 1,000 a month. What I'm sure that they had to obviously pick up, but starting with the sales, and are all of their sales generated through the internet?
No, but a large majority of them are. They wanted to be online, and back 10, 15 years ago, that was a big differentiator, not having a brick and mortar. Now they do have a brick and mortar as well, but mainly they have online sales as their main area. In the beginning, it was a lot of education. Creating content is king online, educational content, videos, talking with experts and doctors and growing that way to say we are an expert in this field and this is what our products can do for you. And that is really helpful. It builds trust with your consumers and builds your brand.
Yeah, it makes sense. And then what do you take those interviews with the doctors, and they're probably doing testimonials on their medical devices, and then you take and market those videos?
Exactly. So
how do you do that?
You can optimize videos in YouTube. It's the second largest search engine to Google, and Google owns YouTube, so technically it's the largest search engine. And video optimization is really interesting, and it's something that is becoming more important. If you've searched recently in Google, you'll notice that videos are coming up more often, and they're actually showing a really cool new feature on videos where you don't have to watch the whole video to get your answer. Like, say you only want to know step 3 of the process because that's where you're confused. You can go right to that specific stage.
Who'd you say Google owns?
YouTube.
Oh, yes, I thought you said that. And so that's interesting. It's, the whole technology, they're all like in bed with each other. So that works well if you're posting your stuff on YouTube. So you maximize the Google search by using the intermediary of YouTube. That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So how do you take and do something with the video itself? Do you have like tags in there like you do with a website?
Yeah, exactly. You want to do the same thing, optimize the title, the meta descriptions, bring in your keywords. It's very similar.
I should start doing that on my show.
Yeah. I'll help you with it.
That's good. That's great. We're up on break. So we're going to take a brief moment. Come back with us in a minute or two as we have your commercial break. Welcome back to Financial Planning Explained, and I'm here with my guest, Devon McCrossin, who's a partner with Boomtown Internet Group, and talking about taking company websites, and by the sound of it, you got some great experience of dramatically increasing sales with particular companies. And I know I've seen it, at least at a minimum. We're only just really getting back into it, just seeing the optimization. But I know some of the things that you are working with us for, which kind of piggybacks from last week's episode, is the use of social media. So how do you use social media in conjunction with the website? Use social media to drive people to the website? Talk to me about it.
So if someone who's just doing social media might not realize that the most important thing is to post a link back to your website. You want to make it as easy for a user to reach your website to convert into a customer as possible.
Okay.
If you don't post the link, then they have to go to your page and find your website, and it's a lot, more
Of course,
steps.
of course.
So that's the easiest, basic level thing that you can do to drive traffic.
So if you're driving traffic to the website, you were referencing how you're climbing up the search engine optimization, but you used a different term, domain increase.
Authority.
Right, domain authorities. Now, if I'm driving more people to my website through social media, does that increase my domain authority?
I'm not sure, actually.
Really? Okay.
I have to look into that one.
Okay.
The great thing about driving people to your website through social media is that social media has their own algorithms, which Nick talked about on the previous episode. So it's a whole different audience and engagement metrics than you would be able to find on search. On search, you have to come up on the first page. Who looks at the second page anymore?
Yeah, right.
You know, so you have like a great opportunity in social media to reach an audience that you might not be able to. You know, if you're a smaller, medium-sized business. Competing in a competitive environment.
So how do you use social media to target particular people? Let's use the medical devices for a moment. You referenced that you helped that company grow dramatically. How do you target, you use social media to find the doctors? How do you do that?
So there's, if you talk about organic posting, you can use hashtags and figure out what people are interested in, what they're following. And you can also post in groups or reach out directly to people. If you're using paid, there's a lot of data out there that you can find on people, and you can target down to the individual level.
If you're using paid advertising?
Paid advertising on social, or just paid advertising in general, like
Okay.
Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads, or even Google ads. There's been some stuff in the news about privacy concerns.
Right.
Apple's changed their policies, Google's being sued, so that might change in the future. But as of right now, you can target at the individual level. So I can target,
How?
a demographic of people.
I saw the movie Social Dilemma.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that was fascinating. So you target the demographic groups, and then you kind of just organically try to grow it from there. But I guess I don't understand how you target those groups. I guess you find those groups somehow?
It's in the settings when you set your ad up. You can set it up with a geographic area, a gender specific you're targeting, a type of job you're interested in, or something that someone else is interested in, like say they're a recent homeowner. They have a lot of information.
Well, yeah, it's based on what people are clicking on, and so if I find myself looking for a new pair of shoes and I'm looking online, which I don't, and I keep doing that, next thing you know, and I've noticed that all of a sudden, hey, you know what, shoe advertising. So it's kind of reverse engineering that almost in a way, right?
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Now you were referencing web apps, or
Yes.
talk to me about that.
So web applications are things such as like an intranet that you might build for your company that sit,
Intranet.
Yeah, intranet, not
Okay,
internet.
right.
That sit like behind your website.
Okay.
For us, we've had a lot of success building like customized platforms for, similar to your business where you have to use a specific platform to develop your website on. There are other areas that have the same restrictions. So, we do a customized rating system for an insurance company to rate and write policies. And we also make intranets for like client logins or employee logins, so they can do things like put PTO in, just to, as you grow and scale,
I gotcha. But it's not necessarily for selling, it's more for operational. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Okay. Taken away. Okay. I gotcha. So you do that for the companies, and I would imagine that those are probably the bigger companies that you do that for, right?
As they grow, yeah. I would say more of the nationals are the ones that are looking for that kind of service.
Right, because it's more of HR type thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. As you get to a certain point.
Right, because I don't have an intranet.
Yeah.
And would there be any need for me to have one? I can't see why there would be.
If you get to a certain size, that's when you would need something like that, or you have a specific application that is challenging to do, like the rating system for the insurance company. If you want to become an insurer, you have to be able to rate people somehow, and if you can do it.
Insurer.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What else is cool in your industry? Talk to me. I mean, what are the cool things that I don't know because I don't know very much?
I think AI is really cool. That's on the horizon.
Artificial intelligence?
It's on the horizon. Everything is trying to become more user-friendly, and it's going to deliver a much better result to the user. They know what you want, and they know what you mean. They understand language so much better now.
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence,
describe that a little bit. I mean, Walk me through that whole thing again.
So in the eyes of Google, they did a recent update. It's called BERT, is their AI algorithm, and they can tell things, the difference between things like I want a passport for the US versus I want a passport to the US. It's a very different result. Like one is someone who's an American citizen
Right.
looking for a passport, and the other is someone wanting to come to the US. So they now understand those nuances in speech. And Google is investing in another AI. It's called
When you say speech, you mean speaking into it? Oh, okay.
like language,
Yeah.
nuances in language.
Okay.
And they're able to understand more what we want and what a user's intent is. So the intent of a search is very important now, and that's affecting the way things are ranking and how people use the internet and use your website. So it's important to understand what type of user you want. So you may get less traffic, but it's the right kind of traffic, and that's what Google's trying to do, is provide a better experience.
That's just so over my head. It's really neat. And the movie Social Dilemma, well, you did see that, right?
I only watched the intro.
Really? Oh my goodness! You got it. You probably know all of it, but I found it to be fascinating as to how they can almost not manipulate. I hate to use that word, but they do. What you're thinking, what you're doing, to be able to use it and target it. And it started off where, it made all the sense in the world. Facebook was trying to say, this particular individual likes to go to these types of websites, and what they'll do is they'll sell that data to companies so that they know what type of advertising to go for that particular individual. I think that whole concept is absolutely fascinating, and it sounds like you're applying it to what you do.
Exactly. That's how we're able to effectively target, and that's why digital marketing is so much more powerful than traditional marketing, because I have data to prove that what we're doing is working, or if it's not working, how to pivot to make it work better, which I think is invaluable, especially to a small business trying to grow. You're not wasting your money on ad dollars for something that you can't measure.
Of course. Measurement is also very difficult, and I heard someone once say, marketing's great, 50% of it works. The only problem is you don't know which 50%.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's kind of funny. So clearly eons, you forgot probably 10 times more than what I know, but how does one, like if I was looking for someone who does what you do, what your company does, and I would do a Google search for a web developer, how do I differentiate one from the next?
So the most important thing if you're looking for a web developer, and I think what sets us apart, is that we're full service. So if you want to market your website, you want to start with someone who is going to design and develop it all the way through marketing.
Okay.
Therefore, it's set up correctly. It's so much about the foundation, and I touched on page experience a little bit and speed, and it's so important to design a website that's user-friendly, with the keywords and content that you need, and with the correct language and background that makes it easy for you to update. We want to make it so the client can go in and change things. We want you to own your website and have the power to do that, and not have to constantly redevelop or pay for a programmer to fix things. And that takes it through to the marketing stage. Then when it comes to me and I'm going to market your website, it's so much easier to fix the technical SEO, and the content's already there. Then I can just advertise it and do all the other aspects of digital marketing.
You also have graphic designers too?
We do, yes. We also have graphic designers. You can do your logo and your branding, and fully establish yourself as a professional online business.
Interesting. So you're not just web developers, you're truly online marketing thing. That's excellent.
Yeah.
So what other success stories do you have? Trying to get an idea of different applications. You were demonstrating, you're doing it for us as a financial planning outfit, and you were doing it for the medical device. What other different types of success stories and how did you do it?
Yeah, so we work with all the way from lawyers to contractors. Recently I developed a new website for a local contractor. He was paying a lot in Google Ads, and he wasn't seeing results, and he wasn't ranking at all organically. Once we redeveloped his website and started advertising for him using SEO, we were able to have him stop paying for Google Ads. He was getting about 15 leads a month to now over 100 leads a month during his prime season, and totally free. He doesn't have to pay Google at all for those leads. So that's how powerful it is to have your website set up organically. You can do so much better just coming up from an organic search, and you don't have to compete in advertising.
Wow, that's excellent. That's excellent. So how much did the Google ads cost, like the contractor, how much was he paying every month for those ads?
So they're more expensive. It's a very competitive industry.
Oh, really?
So Google Ads depends on what your industry is. They can be as little as $1 to as much as $75.
$75?
Just to be seen
Just to
and
click?
clicked. Yeah. For lawyers specifically, they have a new type of ad, if you've noticed recently, that come up.
I can't say that I've clicked on a website searching for lawyers.
It's called Google Guarantee. So they guarantee the leads. Those leads are even more expensive because a lot of times, like say, I'm searching and I'm just looking for competitors and I click on an ad, I'm not a real lead. So Google guarantees that the lead that clicked is real, and those ads can cost $120 for lawyers.
Well, define real. I mean, it's a real person, obviously. They're clicking, they're not a robot or whatever the case may be. Define real.
It has to be, they record the phone call that they have if they call you, and you can listen back and you can dispute and say that this wasn't a real lead. And they also know the contact form submission and what they wrote, so you can, fight Google and say it's not real, and then they'll give you your money back.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that they can do that. How do they tap into a phone call?
It's like a click to call. So on your mobile phone, when you.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, I've done that before. I was thinking, how did I? Okay, I usually don't. I pick up the phone and just call, but that's a separate issue.
Yeah.
So we're running low on time. Is there anything else that you want to add?
No.
No? I mean, you've said so much here that it's unbelievable how much more how much you do, how much you've added value to our company. You obviously have added value to other companies, and and routinely, I know we have a meeting every month. You're telling us and giving us an update every month. You're also providing us with like a status, not really a status report, a performance report that shows how many people clicked onto my website, on which pages, et cetera, et cetera. That's really useful information, even though I don't fully understand all of what it is, but that's really useful information. And I can see our numbers have increased dramatically over the course of the past year from where we were a year ago prior to bringing you back in to working with the website. And I assume you can pick up anybody's website and reconfigure it, right? Okay, that's good.
I think what's unique about our business is that I love to help businesses grow. I'm a business owner. I get your problems. I want to help consult with you, and I'll help you solve any problems you have.
Right.
I've seen it before. I've worked with it before. A lot of people use me as their outsourced marketing wing for any type of marketing or ideas that they want to run by.
That's cool. To a great extent, it's like us. I mean, it's fun to watch and participate in the successful of other people.
Exactly.
And
That's why I do what I do.
That's good. Well, I tell you what, we're wrapping up. What I'd like you to do is take a moment, look in the camera, tell who you are, how they can reach you, and I'll pick it up from there. Okay. So you can look in the camera right there.
So you can email me at devon@boomtownig.com. It's DEVON @boomtownig.com. Or you can find me online at boomtownig.com and fill out our form. I really look forward to hearing from you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming on the show, and this was great. It's so much that you guys can do for the website that it's just beyond me, and I think it's really cool. So thank you very much for being a guest on my show today.
Thank you for having me.
Here we go again. Again, financial planning is the individual, but anybody who's a business owner is also an individual. I'm a business owner. I've got my website, and if my website's driving more revenue to the business, then hopefully it's driving more profitability. And at the end of the day, where does the profits go? The profit goes to the business owner, where financial planning comes into play, whether it be personal financial planning, retirement planning, tax planning, estate planning. It all comes into play. And if you're a business owner, I can't estimate the value of having a good website and having a team behind you to really push it through and optimize your website and your marketing activities. And I know that Boomtown has done that for my business over the years, and it's been terrific. So I guess that considers that a stamp of approval, and they've done a great job. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you next week. And next week is going to kick off a few weeks where a little bit of change in pace. We're going to be doing questions and answers, questions that we've picked up from people calling into us, people emailing us, and those from blogs on the internet. I think it's going to be really interesting, and I look forward to doing it. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.